Welcome back to SoundersFC.com. Tony Ventrella, Cliff McGrath, Nubs Nuggets. For this week, we thought we'd talk about injuries. Speaking of injuries, two guys out. O'Brien White with a blood clot, still trying to find out what caused it. Steve Zakawani, broken leg. You're missing two key players. You know all about filling in for guys that are injured.
Well, the first thing you do, obviously, when you start the season is talk about the fact that we're not a star system. Historically, if you got a big shot, big shooter, big passer, big, hockey guy, whatever, people center on them. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to figure out how to neutralize those kind of one-star systems. So you preach, we're a team. You know, all that business about there's no I in team and all that sort of thing. In your heart of hearts, when you go to bed at night, you're really glad you got that superstar. And then guess what? It goes down, and now what do? Well, it's like the old days with typewriters. The ribbon broke, something happened to the key, you had to retype the whole thing. What do you do now? We have computers, all you do is reboot. So you kind of reboot the whole thing. You
do, and you try to build your team with enough depth, obviously, at every position, especially key spots, so that you can reboot.
Absolutely. We had a kid that played for us, Peter Hattrop, one of the great players of the whole area, played professionally indoor for maybe 18 years. Unbelievable. Goal scorer, give him the ball, get out of the way, he'd score. So it turns out, and sometimes it's not injury, it may be something else. In this case, ineligibility, and I wouldn't tell you that, except he's told people honestly that was a problem. And in fact, he dropped out of school at that point and signed a pro contract, and a lot of football player guys do that. At any rate, we were devastated because the season was going to open 3 days later when we found this out. Well, in place of that, we had what we call the Smurf Championship. We didn't have anybody that could score a goal. Well, those two little guys, Danny Machado and Mark Fowler up front, together they wouldn't make 6 feet. But together that whole team worked and kind of fused themselves together at the hips and the idea, and bingo. And we won the Smurf Championship, which was the first back-to-back championship in history. So it all comes back to that thing we talked about before. Attitude. You have a right to choose your attitude.
Okay, what's the nugget that goes with this one? Or was that it?
Yeah, the nugget is we'll borrow from that whole computer thing. And in this case, it's literal. You know what? One goes down, you reboot.